ending, shock, gasp. Woo! Let's break it down on today's Nerdist news. Shock, gasp, woo. We've always kind of understood the two-pronged purpose of Disney's Rogue One, a Star Wars story. One, it was to tell the tale of the brave group of heroes who sacrificed everything to steal the Death Star plans and thereby setting up the events of A New Hope. And two, it was to make Disney $1 billion. Now, while it was successful on both fronts, the film was plagued by extensive reshoots that sent fans deep into speculation territory as to what happened to all of that missing footage they saw in the trailers, and wondering what the living F actually happened in the alternate version or versions of Rogue One. Well, wonder no more, because we now know of one that didn't quite make it through the pre-production process. That's right, Rogue One also had at least one rogue ending, an alternate version of the final minutes that caters to those people who need their endings happier and their action less, shall we say, explodey. Now, it should be noted here that the film's creative team has said it was always the hope that they'd be able to kill off the movie's main heroes. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, screenwriter Gary Whitta said, quote, "The original instinct was that they should all die. If you're going to give your life for anything, give your life for this. That's what we always wanted to do, but we never explored it because we were afraid that Disney might think it's too dark for a Star Wars movie or for their brand. And so, out of a fear of the mouse's happiest wrath on Earth, the team crafted an early treatment and subsequent first draft in which a handful of the film's key characters actually survived the final bit of carnage. Also, originally characters like pilot Bodhi Rook, Guardians of the Whills Chirrut Imwe, and Baze Malbus weren't in the first draft. And instead of being a criminal/spy, Jyn Erso was actually a sergeant in the Rebel Army. In fact, you can still find copies of an early version of her action figure that read Sergeant Jyn Erso on the package because the toys were already in production before the film was changed. Collectibles! Just saying! Go find those. Anyways, here's how this alternate ending breaks down. The Death Star arrives out of hyperspace to blow the shit out of Scarif's special weapons facility, along with the Rebel infiltrators who are trying to steal the plans. But in this early version, instead of the just-in-time transmission of the Death Star plans from a satellite tower, Jyn and Cassian actually escape from Scarif with the data tapes in tow. Per screenwriter Whitta, a Rebel ship came down and got them off of the surface. The transfer of the plans happened later. They jumped away, and later Leia's ship came in from Alderaan to help them. The ship-to-ship data transfer happened off Scarif. Naturally, Darth Vader still gives chase, but this time leads an onslaught against Jyn's shuttle while our heroes frantically attempt to transfer data from the stolen tapes to Leia's Corvette. Then, in a last-minute dose of somber tension, Vader breaches their shields and blows up Jyn's ship, the idea being to make audiences think that Jyn and crew had been killed, their heroic body parts scattered across the frigid void of space. But then Vader rushes after Leia and the Tantive 4, ignoring the space junk from Jyn's shuttle. It is here we would have found out, according to Whitta, quote, "They got away in an escape pod just in time. The pod looked like just another piece of debris." Ooh, it's the old pretend to look like garbage trick, just like the Millennium Falcon in Empire. Go watch our new Millennial Falcon sketch on Nerdist.
Millennial Falcon!
Luckily, the filmmakers hated that ending as much as we would have and pleaded with Disney to pull a switcheroo. After all, what is a rebellion without sacrifice for a deeper purpose? How could we appreciate what our heroes were fighting for if they remained alive to see the results? I, for one, am glad they're dead. God. Oh well, it. Would you have preferred a happier ending? Do you think it would have been worth the series of other films headlined by Jyn Erso? And do you want to buy a Sergeant Jyn Erso figure? Let's discuss.
Millennial Falcon!
Be sure to tune in every day at 1 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, and Alpha. This month, for Nerdist News Talks Back, we're breaking down who is the best villain of all time for March Madness, so help us figure out who is the best at being the worst.